anybody wants to come on in, once we get started, send them on in. Well, I'm Susan Welchance, and this is my husband, Donnie, and we are beekeepers. This is our 8th year to keep bees. We're hobbyists, yes, let me make that clear. And we started in 2009, and our apiary is in the Leanna community, and currently we have 27 hives that we take care of. So, I'm here today to talk about problem solving in the springtime. And springtime is the beekeeping Super Bowl for the beekeeper and the bees. That's when the bees make the majority of their honey. And in Middle Tennessee, where we live, the nectar flow that's needed for honey making starts on average, and remember, beekeeping is very weather dependent. But on average, our nectar flow starts in late April, continues through May, and in our experience is over by about the middle of June. Now, the beekeeper's springtime goal in order to get the honey flow is to have their bees in peak honey making condition by tax day on April 15th. Now, this means that all spring feeding and any medications that may need to be administered have all been finished. All the hives are queen right, which means that everybody has a healthy laying queen. And there are plenty of bees, probably around 60,000 bees in the hive. And you've got your first honey super on the hive, ready to receive all that beautiful nectar that's out there. Now, so this is the hive. This is an 8-frame hive, Langstroth hive. Now, traditionally, hives have 10, the Langstroth hive accommodates 10 frames. But one of the recent changes in beekeeping is that we've gone to an 8-frame hive. And I'll tell you who likes the 8-frame. It's women and older folks, because they're heavy. You know, a 10-frame super of honey may have 30 pounds of honey. It may weigh 30 pounds. A 10-frame medium, which is this size right here, that may have 40 pounds of honey. So when you start lifting that much weight, it gets tiresome real fast. So we started out with the traditional 10 frames, and in the last couple of years, we've decided, well, let's move over to the 8 frame. So we're in a transition period, and we may always be in a transition period, but we do like these 8 frames because they're easier for me to lift and for Donna to lift. So this is what we're talking about, and my talk today is we're assuming we've brought our bees through the winter. So we've got something to start with. And if we don't have our bees in optimum peak condition by April 15th, we're going to miss the honey flow. We're not going to get much honey, if any. So hopefully we've got it in peak condition. And we like to use a queen excluder. So let's pretend for a minute this is our honey super. We call the boxes supers. That's what we call them. But if this is where we've got all of our bees in the brood nest, and this is our honey super, we like to put on what's called a queen excluder. And that goes on right there, under the honey super. And this keeps the queen from crawling up and laying eggs in your honey supers, because there's nothing more discouraging than to get ready to extract a frame of honey. You pull it out, you look at it, and there's cap brood or eggs in it, and you just go, oh man, because you don't want to this queen excluder will assure you're not doing that. Now, some beekeepers don't like to use these. They call them honey excluders instead of queen excluders because they think the bees don't like to move up and down through, which, you know, that's probably so, but in our use, in our hobbyist beekeeping, we like the queen excluders because I hate to get ready to uncap a frame of honey and find eggs and have breeding. So, and let me tell y'all about one innovation too. This is a plastic frame. This right here is plastic. It's not the traditional wax foundation. And this is much easier and much sturdier to work with. And to get the bees to draw wax on it, I took some of my beeswax that I had melted down and brushed it on here, and that attracts the bees to it. And I'll pass this here for y'all to see. But to get the bees ready for that April 15th kickoff date, nutrition is very important. As a matter of fact, I've got in here nutrition, nutrition, nutrition. That is very important for honeybee survival. Loss of honeybee habitat and our modern prevalence of pesticide use has degraded the honeybee forage. So they've got a lot less food than they had 40 or 50 years ago because we built subdivisions and parking lots and strip malls. And we like to use pesticides, or some people like to use pesticides to beat back the bad bugs from their gardens and their flowers. So nutrition is a constant worry for the beekeeper and the bee. And the bee has to have food, shelter, and water, just like a human does. So in the winter, you need, to start the winter in November, you need about 60 pounds of honey in your hive to make it through the winter, because bees don't hibernate. They're in there in a cluster, and the bee's in the middle of the cluster, and then the bees are kind of working in and out from the middle of the cluster because the heat, they keep the middle of the cluster at about 90 degrees even in the winter. And that's where the queen is, and everybody's kind of changing spots. They're moving in and out. So they're eating all winter. And on a nice, warm, sunny day of about 50, and we've had a lot of those in Middle Tennessee, the bees will go out and take a cleansing flight because they're very particular. They don't like to poop inside the hive. So they wait until they get a nice warm day, and then they fly out for a cleansing flight. So you'll see your bees out and about during the winter. So about January, we go in, you just can't stand it because you're seeing them fly, and then on really cold days at night you go, oh man, I hope they're okay. I hope they're making it. So in January, we will go in, and we've got them in there with their honey, but we'll take off this inner cover and peer down. And we don't break down the hive because we don't want to get them chilled. But we'll peer in to see, what it looks like. And if they're at the very top, then that tells us that, they're up top and they're working on the last of their food. So then we will make up a fondant, which is a paste of sugar and Honeybee Healthy, which is a feeding supplement we like, and some water, and we'll put that on them, and that will take them through the winter if we make sure they have that. So we do that in January, and in late January, the queen will start laying. In November, she stopped. In December, she's not laying. But starting in January, she will start the laying process. And let me explain this. In the summer, worker bees, the female bees, live on average 6 weeks. So you've got to have your healthy queen laying eggs to replenish your dying cycle of worker bees. Now in the winter, in the fall, we get a crop of what we call the winter bees. And those bees will live for about 6 months to make it through the winter with the queen. But from like October, November, 6 months, and about March, that's when the bees really need a new crop of worker bees out there. And so the queen starts her cycle in January so that she's got enough bees in springtime to replace the winter bees and to start the honey making. So, we've always got to make sure we've got a queen and that we've got bees to take care of. So in February and March, we check again for food. And the end of winter is near then, but the bees can still starve to death because not much is out there. You might see some Mahonia holly, some Lenten roses, but there's not much out there to keep the bees going in February and March. So we check, and if we need to put on more fondant, we do. Then in March, the elm and the maple trees will start to bloom, which is huge for the bees because you'll start seeing pollen being brought in. If you watch them on the entrance right here, you'll see them bringing in clumps of pollen. And it may be red, that's the maple, and I think the elm is tan. But you'll see different colors of pollen start coming in, big amounts in March. And that's when the nights are no longer at freezing, and you're not worried about sugar syrup freezing. That's when we start our stimulatory feeding for the springtime. And let me stop back. On a warm day in March, when it's 60 plus degrees, it's sunny, and preferably no wind, that's when we break down our hive and we take it apart, we take the frames out, we look for eggs. Hopefully what we're going to see is eggs and lots of bees. If we see eggs, we know the queen is there. Here's the queen. And that's real important. And if we see eggs, we don't worry about not seeing the queen because we know she's there. And the eggs look like tiny little grains of rice at the bottom of a cell. These are cells. I don't see an egg. That's a queen cell right there. So we break it down, and we break it down to the bottom board. And at the end of winter, your bottom board may have a lot of debris, a lot of dead bees, a lot of dead beetles, debris, wax from the hive that's fallen down. And if you see that, that's nothing to be concerned about, but you need to brush it out because that's one less housekeeping job that the bees have to do. And you'll notice this is screen. This is what we call a screen bottom board. And there are solid bottom boards, but we like the screen because the debris, a lot of the debris and the mites and the pests will fall through this screen and out of the hive, fall in a solid bottom board that's all just one big pile of grub. So this is part of our, what we call integrated pest management that we practice. And I have to tell you, Donnie and I are hobbyists, and we take a minimalist approach to using chemicals in our hive. Basically, the only chemical we use is we will use food grade wintergreen oil to make our salt patties in the fall to combat varroa mite. We don't use checkmate or Apistan or oxalic acid to combat pests like the varroa mite because it's hard to calibrate killing a bug on a bug, and that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to kill a mite or a beetle or a moth and not kill your bee. So our thinking is, and you'll find beekeepers that say, oh, put the oxalic acid to them, and you get this oxalic acid and you hook it up to a car battery, I think, and you vaporize the stuff. It goes up through the hive and kills the mites. Well, to our way of thinking, you might be killing mites. That's true. I'm sure that's true. But you're also weakening the honeybee. I mean, you may not kill the honeybee outright, but it's weaker, and you may be affecting the queen's fertility. So as hobbyists, you know, we just don't go that way. We go the less chemical is better route to us. And like I said, food grade wintergreen oil that I get from a place called Warren Oil that sells candy making and baking oil is where I get my wintergreen oil. So I know if I would eat it, you know, it's probably not going to hurt the bees. So that's what we use. Now, so we're in March, we see the queen, we've got eggs, and we're gonna do stimulatory feeding. What that is, it's 1-to-1 sugar syrup. So what we do is I get a gallon jug, a big gallon glass jug, and I put in a 5-pound bag of sugar. Then I run it the rest of the way full with hot tap water, as hot as you can get the tap water, and stir it up until the sugar is dissolved. And that's 1-to-1 sugar syrup. Now you don't want to boil the water because if you caramelize the sugar with the boiling water, that will make the bees sick. So you just want to use real hot tap water. And we like to use this Honeybee Healthy. This is a feeding stimulant with essential oils. It's got lemongrass oil and good stuff like that. But you have to be careful with this because it can just make a hive just explode in numbers. And that'll make it swarm, which you don't want that. But this is good stuff, and it will keep mold from forming in your sugar syrup. So, we get our 1-to-1 sugar syrup made and start in March when we're not worried about it freezing. And Donnie makes our bottom boards, he makes this, our inner cover. These are our little feeding stands. And he makes all this, he gets the dimensions, and he makes it. We buy our boxes already made and nailed together. And he makes our outer covers too. But here's our little feeding stand. It's got 4 holes in it. So we can get, here's a quart jar, so we can get a gallon of sugar syrup on this. Or if we've got a deep that we're going to use, we can get 2 gallons of it. But this is how this really works. You've got your bees down here. There's your inner cover. You've got your feeding stand. You've got your jar, and this is the way we do it. You can do what they call a Borkin feeder on the outside, but we like to do the inside feeding because that way you don't encourage robbers to come and raid your syrup and kill your queen down there and cause all kinds of havoc. Then you put an empty super urn. And then your cover. And then a couple of bricks on top to keep the wind from blowing away. And so now we're doing our stimulatory feeding. And this will cause the queen to accelerate her laying, and it gives the bees extra nourishment. Now, what if there is no queen though? You go in, you see lots of bees, but you don't see a queen. There's no eggs, and she's gone. She's just dead. Well, this is a serious problem, because without the queen, you're not going to have a hive pretty soon, because the queen's got to be laying eggs that are maturing and all the other ones die. But there are solutions to this. The first one, and this is what we'll do, if we go in and we are for sure that the queen is dead, we'll take a frame of 1 to 2 day old eggs from a strong hive and put it down here. And the bees, and you may say, well, Susan, how do you know a 1 or 2 day old egg? Well, we're not real scientific, we're hobbists. So we look for a frame of eggs where they're just microscopic practically. And we figure those are really young eggs. Because a 3 day old egg, you get a poor queen. But, and if you're in the position of it's March and you have no queen, then you might even go with a 3 day old egg. But we're looking for a good frame of teeny tiny eggs that we're going to put in here. And then the bees who know we don't have a queen, this is not good for us. They know they have to have a queen. Then you put a frame of eggs in here. And the bees will feed her extra royal jelly. And they will take an egg and they will make a queen cell. And that's that little baby right there. It looks like a peanut. And this is one that we've had this spring, and she ate her way out. So Donnie, you want to pass that around so that they can see this little
queen cell?
Yeah, the queen cell. There's a bud. And that's what a queen cell looks like. And that's what the bees will make if you give them tiny little worker eggs. They'll make one like that. They'll feed her extra royal jelly. And that's what makes it. The amount of royal jelly a worker bee gets is what changes them from a worker bee to a queen bee. And the queen gets a lot more royal jelly. Now, it takes approximately 30 days from day 1 as an egg for a new queen to emerge. She emerges on, let's see, this over here. She hatches on day 16. Then she still has to go out, mate with drones, and come back to start laying eggs. And you don't have enough drones in the area for the queen to mate until about April 1. So hopefully, you find out in March you don't have a queen. Then you do give them a frame of eggs. They make a queen cell. And she's not going to hatch and be ready to go out and mate until the 1st of April, when there should be enough drones in the area to mate with. Now, you can also, another reason we like to do this, and if this happens in the summer, this will give you a break in the varroa mite cycle, which the varroa mite is a pest that hurts the bees a lot. But, we manage those too, and the bees manage them. but varroa mites can be a real headache for the mite, for the bees. But that's another reason we like it, because it gives a break in the varroa cycle, and that helps to feed them. But there's another method. You've got a lot of bees, and for whatever reason, maybe you don't want another new hive. You can still use those bees that are surviving with what we call the newspaper method. You would merge them with another hive. So what you would do, if you just plop them down on top of the hive, the bees will fight because they don't know each other. But if you take a newspaper, a regular newspaper, unfold it to just one thickness, one page, lay it across the top of the hive you want to merge them with, cut a few slits in it to help them get started. Then we would probably spray the bees that we're putting over there with sugar syrup too, just to keep everybody calm. Then you put the new bees on top with that newspaper between, and then the bees will eat through that newspaper and be simpatico. Everybody will be one big happy family, and this will give that hive you've given to a boost, and it gives these other bees a purpose. Now the third thing you can do is you can always go out and buy a queen, but in March the queens aren't going to be, I shouldn't say you can always go out and buy a queen, because that's not necessarily right. In March, they may not be readily available from queen producers, because beekeeping is weather dependent, and it may be that in March, maybe you can get them from the Florida producers, maybe not. You just have to call and see if they've got queens available. Now queens, I think, you might pay $25 for a queen, or if you want a highly bred queen that's varroa resistant and got all kinds of scientific stuff going into it, commercial beekeepers will pay hundreds of dollars for a queen. But we're hobbyists. We don't get into that. We just let the bees make their own queens. So you can buy queens, and here's another reason we don't like to buy queens or bees really from the southern states, from Florida, Georgia, and Texas, is there's always that possibility they may have that Africanized bee strain. And we're not fooling with Africanized bees. If we ever get any Africanized bees in our Beeyard, then we will go out of bee business, because we're not fooling with that kind of stuff. And in Florida, they have Africanized bees, and in Texas on the coastline. So that's one reason we don't like to get bees from the south of us. We like to get bees from Tennessee, Kentucky, someplace like that, someplace that's like our climate and not far south where the Africanized bees could be. Now, we've gotten to late April and early May. We've got a queen right hive. We've got lots of bees. Well, now what can go wrong? I'll tell you what can go wrong. They can swarm. They can just leave you in a minute. And in order to make a good honey crop, the bees have to stay home. The beekeepers want them to stay home. The bees, in order to perpetuate their species, well, a healthy hive wants to swarm to do that. This is their way to reproduce. They can swarm, and that means, they're splitting and perpetuating their species. Now, it is just a wonder of nature to see a swarm. The air just fills with bees. But you also know, there goes my honey crop, probably, when the swarm leaves. But it's just awe-inspiring, that's all I can say. And while I hate to see a swarm, there's a part of me that goes, man, I ain't lucky to see this. So, what do? Well, now it's the beekeeper's mission to catch that swarm. Now, if the swarm goes 50, 60 feet high in a tree, then it's just gone. As far as we're concerned, you know, one that is higher than 10 or 15 feet off the ground, it's just gone, because you don't want to be crazy about this. You don't want to, you know, fall and break a hip or break your arm or, you know, get hurt or get somebody else hurt trying to get a swarm of bees. You can buy a nucleus hive of bees with 5 frames of worker bees and a laying queen for $150. So don't just be crazy to go catch a swarm. But if that sucker is within 10 or 15 feet off the ground and you can see a good way to get it, a beekeeper is going to catch it. And you don't need to be afraid, because when the bees are swarming, they don't have any baby bees that they're trying to protect. Their big thing is we want to go out, find a home with our queen that's coming with us, and start over. So really, that's when they're at their least aggressive. But you do still need to wear your protective gear. You know, put on your veil, wear your gloves, have on long sleeve shirt, long pants. I like my leather boots, and have your pants legs stitched down, either with tape or have some pants legs that have a little cinch in there, because the bees will crawl up your legs if you don't watch. But when the swarm comes out, they're probably going to land someplace close by, and it may be on a tree or a shrub, and they'll, or it might be on a fence, and they're going to cluster there. So your goal is to catch these bees and put them back into a hive. At a minimum, you're going to need an empty box. Now, this is just a plain cardboard box. And if you buy stuff from Walter T. Kelly, which is one of the bee supply vendors, or Russian Mountain, when you get your stuff, they'll probably come in big boxes like this that are wax coated, and those make fine swarm catching boxes. But this is a nice clean box that I happen to have, and this is the size, you know, about the size you want. You want to poke some holes in it, because you can suffocate bees. Don't put them in something like a cooler and put down the top and it be airtight, because they will die. They'll suffocate. But you need at least that and a bee brush, which has gotten away from it. You see it? Oh, no. There it is. Here it is. A bee brush. Right there. And that, Donnie's going to pass that around. They may also just clump on the ground, just land, for some reason, land out in somebody's yard. That is out in Las Casas on Charles Smith Road, and a swarm of bees just landed in the yard in a big old clump. And our son was a neighbor, and so they called us. The neighbors knew that Scott knew somebody that could be, so we went out and caught it. And that's Donnie and me on the ground. And how we caught that one, we took drawn comb with us, and we would lay it down, and the bees just would jump on this drawn comb. And drawn comb is this stuff that the bees have made. So it's got that good bee smell on it. So the bees said, hey, this is what we're looking for.
Do you ever use any lemongrass oil?
As lures, lemongrass oil is in this stuff, as you can smell it. But yeah, lemongrass oil is very, very much a bee attractor.
She didn't point out one thing on here. Say how calm the swarm is.
I'm just grabbing my son.
You'll notice my right hand, these people were scared to death of this swarm. They were standing far from here to the front door away from it. I could take my hand and put in that swarm. I'd have to do it easy, I couldn't do it like that. Put my hand in the middle of that swarm, touch the ground, bring it back out, never get stuck. They are looking for a home. And I'm not mashing them, I'm not doing anything. That is when people get scared of seeing black stuff in the air. And a big 30,000 bees at one time flying in the air, it is scary to a person that don't understand bees. But they're looking for a home. And we have caught a lot of times, and you got to get in there and separate. We don't do it with the family. She does it with a turkey family. And look for the queen. That queen's in that swarm somewhere. When it attaches to a tree, a bush, a fence, we got one hive home that landed on a wire fence. This one landed on the ground. Don't ask me why. And we still got it. And it is a honey-producing hive. We have made 2 or 3 splits off of it this year. So for some reason, they fight the mite all. But when you just go out there and the bees are messing around and it's not on a swarm, they're dangerous. You can get one sting you right fast. They have guard bees. And the guard bees will come out and pop you real fast. And I personally think a bee can get your smell. They smell the food or the pollen and the nectar that you get. So we can walk through our yard, what I call a Beeyard. A lot of times we'll not get stung, but somebody walk through there, they don't smell it, don't know. Pow! I mean, that's just that fast, it'll get you. But we use the drawn comb to catch bees. In fact, we caught a swarm of bees here about a month ago, drawn comb. We couldn't get them to do anything. We stuck a frame down under drawn comb of the bees. They got them. We did that 3 or 4 times. We put the frames back in a hive, and she uses a white, at least she'll have with her tablecloth. And she started putting, and the other bees started walking up, going in. That smell of that queen was in that hive. We got that queen, and she came right in. We put her in there, but those other bees recognizing her smell. We sat there for about an hour, and about an hour later, we just folded up and went home. We had the queen and the bees. And I know some people say, God, they can't do that. These bees work for the queen. She rules, she dictates. And when she wears out, they don't mind getting rid of her. They may even kill her or run her out. So it's all for the bee group together. And she's the leader as long as she's healthy. But when she gets weak, they even kill her.
But the swarm he's talking about landed under one of our other hives. And we were looking at it, and we got under there. I mean, just this big glob of bees was under there, and more than should have been there if they were from the hive. So we got a frame of drawn comb, that's what you call this stuff, and I was able to slide it under the hive. And the first one, I slid it under there. I mean, the bees just jumped under it. And I think the queen must have been in that bunch jumping under it, because that's why they were all jumping under it, because the queen was in there. So we got that, and so we brought it back, set it down in the hive, and then you have to have a big white sheet or big white plastic tablecloth when you're swarm catching, because then I put that in front of the hive, made a little bridge with my white sheet, and as we would get them from out under the hive, I'd shake them in the front, and they would just run up into the hive. one of the big things that just hooked me on beekeeping when we first started, we went out to Keith Elrod's house, the president of our bee club, and he had caught a swarm a day or two before the field day. And so he had it in a box, and so he had a big white door. He put it on a door. He had a box like this and a big white door, and he shook this box of bees onto the door. And they just ran right up the door into here, where, I don't know if he had the queen in here already, or if he just had some drawn comb. But those bees would just march right up. And it's just really something to see. But at a minimum, you gotta have an empty box, a bee brush. You may need lockers, because if you're really lucky, this swarm will land on a branch, and it's gonna be well within reach. And you're gonna take this, and your beekeeping partner is gonna have hold of the branch too, and you're gonna snip that branch, and then you're gonna gently carry the branch over here. You're gonna have some drawn comb down in here. You're gonna have an empty one for a funnel, and you're gonna shake those babies down in there, or just gently lay the branch of bees down in there, cover it up, close it up, and carry it home. Now, it has been that easy.
Keith uses squirts with
Sugar syrup.
sugar water
Yeah,
to keep them calm.
yeah, and we do too. You may need a pruning locker or a hand pruner.
That's pretty important if you hadn't done that before.
Yeah.
You might get ate up.
Yeah, a white sheet or white plastic, something, and it has to be slick. You don't want it to be fuzzy because the bees will stick to it, but you want it slick. You want like cotton or plastic, polished cotton or plastic. You don't want anything kind of woolly. You may need a ladder. You need some tie-down straps, because you're going to want to strap this baby up to get it home. And you're going to need to be able to close up the entrance. This is an entrance reducer, or just some plain old duct tape will work. You can't ever count duct tape out. And this, last year we bought it new from a fella in Crossville. And we were talking about swarm catching. So he said, well, make something out of a fishing net. He used it. So if you got it up real high, and it's hanging down, and they'll hang down, and the clump will be kind of like this shape. You can take this, and this is an old fishing net. Here's an old mop handle. Here's our duct tape. Put this up and hit the branch real solid, and those bees will fall right in here. Now this is after you've sprayed them with your sugar syrup, because that will calm them down, and it also makes them kind of heavy, and they won't be as good to fly. But you do that, and there will be bees just flying all around, but you're going to get a bunch of them in here. So then, we had one a few weeks ago, we had this privet thicket right next to our Beeyard. And we had 3 swarms on separate days to fly basically into the middle of the privet thicket. So we had to get out our lockers and cut our way in, and then get in there and get them spotted. And Donnie was able to go, get them to fall down, and then so he would hand them kind of over to me, and I would bring them over and go, and then give it back to him. And you might do this 2 or 3 times. And it's something to see. But this is one of our homemade swarm catcher implements. And it has worked really well. And all made just the stuff we had on hand at home. But I can't emphasize the importance of duct tape in your beekeeping toolbox, because it will arounds and give you a quick, temporary solution to a lot of things.
Keith really likes that white Gorilla tape,
Yeah,
because it does better than any of the other tapes when you're doing stuff like that.
Gorilla Tape,
Gorilla tape will hold in there longer and will last better, and it's tighter than any of them when you're doing repairs
yeah,
on your hives.
yeah.
Gorilla tape, white Gorilla tape is great.
But don't ever discount the importance of good industrial tape like Gorilla Tape when you're doing something like this. My queen catcher. Now I'll tell you, when we are catching a swarm, we don't see her necessarily. Now I'll poke around for using my turkey feather because this is gentler, than this bristly bee brush, and this lets you kind of move the bees out of the way. But if you see her, you want to get hold of her, and this is my queen catcher. You want to pass this around, and it just looks like a big paper clip, but you can catch her with that. I don't like to handle my queens because I'm afraid I'll mash them and damage them. But you can catch them with that.
Back together. Give that room that don't match.
Yeah, I like that.
But the big idea is spraying with sugar syrup to keep them calm. And then you sweep them or shake or you cut the branch down and put them in your box.
You could order that when you brought it.
So the queen will be with the
It
swarm.
don't cost that much.
Yeah.
Shipping is what costs.
Before the swarm comes out, the bees will run the queen around in the hive and make her lose weight, and she'll stop laying eggs.
Don't want to hurt your
And she's gonna lose weight so that she can fly, because she can't necessarily just pick up and fly, because she's fat, in egg laying mode. But they'll run her around and get her out of egg laying mode. And they've probably got queen cells in there. And right before a queen cell hatches, the swarm will leave with the old queens. Most of the time it's an old queen. If you get after swarms, it may be a virgin queen. But the queen will come out because these bees are in reproduction mode. They want to come out, find a hollow tree or something, and make a new home. And scout bees, before the swarm comes out, scout bees go out and find a home. So they've got a mind of where they want to go. They come out and just kind of coalesce and rest for, it may be minutes, it may be hours, it may be a day or two. But you gotta act fast because you don't know what it's gonna be, whether it's gonna be minutes, hours, or days. But they've got a mind of where they're headed. But your job as the beekeeper is to get them, put them in, a nice home with either fresh wax foundation and lots of sugar syrup to encourage them to draw comb, or some what we call drawn comb that the bees have already made, and that'll please them. But see, they're in wax making mode in the swarm mode, so then's a good time to put on new foundation, either that plastic with some wax on it or wax foundation, and then they'll draw out that wax. So the best thing is if they're on a nice clean branch within the easy reach, but it can be harder than that. And it just depends on how much effort you're willing to put into it. And like I say, don't anybody run out and climb a tree or anything like that, because you can get hurt doing this stuff. And we've got people that love to catch swarms. If you were to go on our Rutherford County Beekeepers Association Facebook page and throw out there, you've got a swarm, does somebody want to come get it? I bet you could get a response. Do you know anybody that likes to do the swarms?
I do in Wilson County, I don't know here.
Oh, okay. But if you went on our Facebook page, I bet you could get a response. So if this happens early enough in the spring, you might still get some honey out of it. If it happens early enough and, you know, they're happy in their new home and they're getting lots of stuff, you might still get some honey that summer, but you'll at least have a new hive, you know, if everything works out. So then the question is, well, can you prevent swarm? Well, I don't call this swarm prevention because you can't necessarily prevent swarm. But there are strategies you can use that might make them stay home. The swarming occurs when the brood area becomes overcrowded and or the bees decide there's insufficient queen pheromone that's being passed around. The queen, a good strong queen, is emitting pheromones. And the bees all want their fair share. And the attendants will get it off the queen and then they pass it to somebody else who passes it to somebody else, and so on. So if you get so many in there that they think we're not getting our fair share, then they may decide it's time to swarm. Or if they think, you know, there's not enough room in the brood area for the queen to lay eggs, they'll swarm. So here's some things you can try. In the early spring, when the night temps warm to 50 and above, if the bee cluster is up here, then switch the position of the boxes. Now, if the bee cluster is like half here and half here, you have to wait until the bees are in one spot, because otherwise you split the cluster and the bees can't keep everybody warm. But the bees, if this is empty and you replace it with this, with the bees in it, see, the bees will go up. You know, they'll go up, ascend, and lay up here. So ideally, if you check this every couple of weeks and make sure that you've got empty space for the queen to get in, that would help out and keep them from swarming. Now I say ideally because everybody's not going to be running out there checking, and because this is very labor intensive to be doing all this switching. But some people might do that. I can't say that we necessarily do, but you know that's an idea. We'll switch them probably once or twice. Or you could remove frames of capped brood from a strong hive, put it in a weak hive. Now the capped brood has eggs have turned into larvae and it's capped over. And you can tell what I'm talking about. If you're a beekeeper. You take those out, put them in a weak hive, and replace those frames with either wax foundation or drawn comb, preferably drawn comb, empty drawn comb, and that will give them more room to put the eggs in there. Here's one I like, because this is kind of easy. Swap the hive location of a strong hive with a weak hive. When you do this, the foragers who are out during the day, the foragers from the strong hive come back to the same location. So if you've got a weak hive that you put in that location, the foragers are going to come back, and they're coming back with honey or pollen. And if a bee is coming in with something like honey or pollen, the other bees in that hive aren't going to fight with them because they're bringing stuff in. You know, they like that. And the old bees, as far as they know, it may smell different, but it's in their old location. So you've got the foraging force coming back to this weak hive, and that'll pep them up. And then the strong hive that you moved, they've not got as many bees coming back to them. can shape bees from a strong hive into a weak hive, but, and Keith does this, but you better know where your queen is, because you don't want to shape your queen from your strong hive into your new one. So you're going to have to find her and isolate her to make sure you don't put her into this other hive. And in the spring, when you've got a bazillion bees, it can be hard to find a queen. You can make splits. If you open up a hive and you see a bunch of queen cells, you're going to have to make splits or wait on the swarm. And to make a split, you know, if you've got queen cells, take a couple of frames with queen cells on them. Put a couple, 2 or 3 frames of honey and pollen in within, and put them in a, what we call a nuke hive. It's a smaller version of this that accommodates 5 frames. And then that queen cell will hatch, the queen will come out, make a mating flight, and come back. Now when you do that, you need to leave the nuke in the old frame, the big hive's spot, and move the other hive with your queen that's still in it. I always make sure I leave a queen cell in all of them, just to cover my bases, because sometimes, you know, that old queen may have died. That may be why you got all these queen cells. So, and what we did this year, we had enough where we made 2 nukes, and we had an old hive. So we moved the old hive with the old queen in another spot in our Beeyard. The conventional wisdom is that you have to move a hive 2 miles away in order for the bees not to come back. But we moved the old hive within the Beeyard to another location. We left our 2 nukes at the same old spot, so that was getting the foraging force coming back, and they were going into each of the nukes. We closed up the old hive for 48 hours. And again, you gotta remember, you don't want to suffocate them, but with our spring bottom boards, that's not an issue. It wasn't all that hot either. So we closed them up for 48 hours, and then we opened them up, and they did an orientation flight, and everybody's happy. So you can move them within the same Beeyard, but you have to